But we've got a couple of guests today. And so first off, I'd like to invite Noah Jones from Abilene's Young Democrats, who's representing West Texas. Noah, are you with us? Hey there. Oh, muted again, unmute.
I think we got to mute him, unmute him. There we go.
Hey, how are y'all?
Great. Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you being on here representing West Texas. We hear a lot about Austin, but it's really important to represent the really key regions of the state. So first question I got for you is, if you're tuning in from Texas and you really want to vote, but you're maybe not sure about exactly like how you can vote, what's the safest and best way, how would you do that?
Definitely. So the first thing you gotta know is the deadline to register to vote is October 5th, 2020. Like, you either have to show up to your county office in person. You can probably just go online and Google county elections office and go there in person. Or the last day you can postmark your application is definitely October 5th. So before you do any voting, you gotta make sure you register to vote. But when you do get registered to vote, probably the best way to do it in Texas, because we're probably one of the most restrictive states in the country about being able to vote freely, is early voting. We have early voting going from October 13th all the way through October 30th. It's been extended a little bit this year. So luckily, a lot more people should have the opportunity to not go on those long lines on election day and just kind of get in and get out and cast your vote. And if you are able to vote by mail, luckily there is still the option to vote by mail in Texas. You have to have a good reason for it, though. Unfortunately, you can't claim COVID for it. You have to request that ballot by October 23rd. So if you can get in by then, you can vote by mail.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Noah.
And you know, with your voter ID, if you do happen to go vote, got to show up that photo ID.
Got it. So photo ID. And then also just one piece about registering to vote. It sounds like you need to either go in person or put something in the mail. You cannot register to vote online. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're unfortunately stuck in the 18th century when it comes to trying to vote still. So we are not one of those states you can vote online quite yet, but you can. It's really easy to go request that from your county office. All you have to do is show up, and it takes about 5 minutes.
Great. So, down ballot races, below the Senate are really so important as well. And we talked about the state house being a key thing to flip in some of these battleground states. And obviously, as a part of Abilene Young Democrats, y'all pay attention to this a lot. Can you tell me a bit about some of, we'll be talking about a congressional race later, and you'll be coming back with congressional candidate Tom Watson, which is very exciting. But I was wondering if you could talk about some of the state house races that your club is paying attention to, why it's so important to win those seats, and anything about those candidates.
Definitely. For the first time in almost 20 years, the Texas State House could flip this fall. For the Democrats could have some sort of power in Texas. All we need to do is just flip a few seats, and the Democrats will have control of the State House. And that's so important because, sure, I mean, the presidency affects our laws, but a lot more laws will affect you on an everyday basis coming from your state houses than they will nationally. And that could also mean a lot when it comes to redistricting, because we have the census this year, and just a couple of years from now, we're going to have some new congressional districts because Texas is still getting bigger. So it's very, very important that we flip the state house this November, so Democrats will have a say in the processes that go on for the next 2 years. And locally, we have quite a few candidates around here that are making us very excited for the first time in a long time. We have Sam Hatton, who is running for the House district right here in Abilene, and he is really just a ball of energy. He is very much actively trying to push toward getting teachers higher pay and working with education. And we have a populist farmer running for the state senate in SD 24. His name is Clayton Tucker, and he is running one of the most unique campaigns I've ever seen. He's getting a lot of bipartisan support in a place you would not expect it to, and we're really looking forward to seeing what he does in November.
And he's a young Democrat, right?
He is actually. He is 30, I believe.
Awesome.
so he is still a member of the Young Democrats.
Very cool. Well, we'll be dropping some links into the chat with to both Sam and Clayton's campaign, so you can check those out. Maybe toss a few dollars their way as well. But thank you so much, Noah. I really appreciate you having you coming on to give that perspective, and we'll have you back on after this next performance with Congressional Tom Watson. So we'll say goodbye for now, and now we'll be tuning into a performance from Tony Camel of Wood and Wire.